Sup, bitches?
Sup, bitches?
Welcome back to the Sassy Spiritual Bitches podcast. I'm Kayla.
I'm Randy.
And we're here today to talk again about what spirits put through to us.
Yeah.
And it took us a while to dig deep, but it's constantly the same thing. So clearly everyone's struggling in the same bus about we want to be in our authentic truth and our freedom, but there's all these convoluted things we're all kind of sifting through.
There's shit in the way.
Yeah. So we ended up pinpointing it to having to kind of stop holding ourselves back and grieving for the person that we once were.
Mm-hmm. This is so huge. This is a very, very, very untalked about topic.
Yes.
So bad. And it's something that is near and dear to my heart because I deal with this very often with my clients. And it's something that I have to explain to them.
And I feel like I've been through many grieving processes as my metamorphosis happened, but I'm as soon as that kind of came through, I was like, oh shit, that's me right now. Mm. I'm having a funeral for the past Kayla right now. And I've been grieving about it for a little while.
You know what? Come and think of it, this week, me too. I'm just...
Because it's if I could describe how I felt for the last few weeks, it's so excited and proud of how far I've come. But there's this heaviness and sorrow too, that it's the people that I used to love and the ways that I used to feel and receive and navigate my family, they don't exist anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's sometimes there's an element of sadness, and I sometimes internalize it. I'm why am I sad? I should be grateful. I should be doing this. And then today, literally a moment ago, I was no, it's okay to grieve. And I think once you just lay that version of you to rest, you can just move on and that full happiness.
Oh, totally. And it's the same thing as anything, whether it's, you're grieving your life for when it once was, whether you're dealing with grieving of a death of a loved one, or it doesn't matter. If you shove that shit down and don't look at it, it's still going to come up. Right?
Wow. And I'm one of those people, and Randy can attest to this. I'm just I did it once. I get it. I'm off. I know it. I've integrated it. And it's no, this grieving process has come around 4 or 5 times. And I didn't recognize it until literally this moment. And I was I have to stop making, I feel bad for grieving, I think is what's happening.
But why though?
Exactly. Why though? It's okay to be sad. And it's now that I've put that name to it and realized what's happening, I'm oh.
There seems to be this weird, here's my problem with healing work, I say, as I literally do it for a living. In a way, there's a stigma around healing too, you know? And it's when you're quote unquote healed, it's never going to come up again. You're excited, you're past it, you're moving on, you're this, you're that. Bitch, that ain't true.
And I know that healing's a wave, but I thought there would be a calm in between each hurricane. No, it's just one fucking wave obliterating you after the other.
Yeah, it can feel like that sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And or it's we kind of it was wave after wave, and it's fuck me, fuck me, fuck me. And then it's finally oh, it's calm. Ooh, yay. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is when the sadness kicks in. When, you're not trying to deal with all the shit being thrown at you and you're oh, okay, it's quiet. Why am I sad? And then you go, oh, because I'm grieving all the shit that I just went through. Mm-hmm. And the person that I used to be that I'm not anymore can never go back to.
Exactly.
And as soon as it's oh, okay, cry it out, let yourself grieve. And it's you get over that, oh no, here comes the storm.
God damn, is that ever true? And even some of the things I find myself grieving, it's the person that I was, sometimes I'm I'm happy to see that bitch go. I'm fuck, she was a wuss. And I'm happy to see myself coming into my power. But it's you can't unlearn some of the hard things that you buried. Looking at your family in a different light and seeing that maybe things didn't go how you thought they did in your perception, your delusion. And then it's hard for me to even that new awareness of some of my family members, seeing them for what they really are, that shit is hard for me to let go of. I'm like, I thought this person was my fucking hero and my everything. And then you look at them now and you're like, did I ever see that incorrectly? And like grieving the way that you understood even your family and friends.
Your own meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your own meaning of, I put this on you. And accepting, no, I put that on you.
Yes.
I did that. That's
absolutely.
I did this to myself here.
I know. That's something I say all the time. Like, it's like sometimes I forget to internalize it in my own world, but it's like when people are going around constantly offending you, they're just minding their own business, being themselves. And they've shone a light on something that you have unhealed within yourself.
It's called projection.
Yeah. And then it's like, it's not that person's fault that they insulted you. It's like your fault that you took it as an insult. And like, as soon as we realize that, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, that hurt me. But also now I see I'm the solution in this issue. It's not me needing to heal that person. I need to heal.
You have no control over anybody else, whether they say something malicious to you or not. Here's the thing, people. Here's my problem with cancel culture. Ooh, I'm gonna offend people.
No, go for it. I think a lot of our listeners, I think also like.
Well, like I don't understand cancel culture. I don't get it. You know what? If something offends you, there's a reason for it. So look at that, because triggers are our teachers. I say that all the time. Yeah. Merch coming soon. Just kidding. It's not. But
write that down.
Write that down. But triggers are our teachers. They're there for a reason. So if you're feeling triggered, ask yourself why. And ask yourself, once that's done, why did I choose to give power to that person?
Oh, God, amen.
Because here's the thing. Whether it's, and I'm not, see, here's the thing. This is the tricky line. Because, you bring out hot button topics like racism or anything like that. We're kind of our own problem.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone just accepted each other and remembering the law of one, that we are all exactly the same. We all come from the same place.
And I'm sorry, but you've also been everybody. You have been every color under the sun. You've been man, woman.
Every time. You've been everything. You've been a bug. You've been a dog. You've been everything.
Yep.
So you've worked your way up to that. And we're all the same. So if we treated everybody, again, do you remember the golden rule?
Isn't it like do unto others as
they would do unto you? Yeah. Nobody teaches that anymore.
No. And it's like literally the only thing in any religious text that really matters.
And that's why it's called the golden rule. So like if you wouldn't want someone to do it to you, don't do it to others, and you're responsible for how you react to things that people say to you. If you choose, and again, this is an ego thing. If you choose to give into hate, if you choose to take something that somebody said personally, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You cannot control another person. I mean, and where are you getting, if you just spread more hate, that person's a horrible person, they said this and they suck and blah, blah, blah. Well, you're doing the same damn thing. Yep. This is the cycle that we're in. This is the problem.
And you know what's really fascinating about that? It's like, I noticed so many people in the spiritual community super well-versed at like recognizing that in distant people. Like seeing that from someone who's like a friend of a friend or a coworker, and it's like that person's unhealed and I'm not going to let them get me down. But then when they zoom into their little worldview with like their partners, their own children, their parents, their siblings, suddenly the game has changed and we can't seem to like separate ourselves from that little tight nook of people that we consider our sacred circle. And it's like, no, the rule applies to everyone. It's always a you problem.
Do you notice that you treat people that you care about so much worse than you treat strangers?
Totally. Fuck, is that ever true?
Isn't that fucked? I was thinking about that the other day because I'm guilty, 100% fucking guilty. And I was just like, I gotta get over this. They are their own person. And so if I'm going to want someone to accept me for fully how I am, in my new healed, quote unquote, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, healed version, then I need to start doing the same for people who aren't healed and who are in a different space. Because you know what? I used to be that person. And you can't force people to wake up. You can't force people to do their own healing. You cannot force it. So I've come across a situation this week that really brought that to light. And I felt betrayed a little bit this week. I felt really hurt. I felt very betrayed, lied to. And I let myself feel it.
Which is important.
Yeah. I let myself feel it for a day. It wasn't even a full day. It didn't even last a full day. But then, I accepted that there was nothing I could do about it because this person is who they are and they have a right to be that person. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to take that and transmute it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But it is hardest when it's somebody close to us because we take it personal.
Yep.
We take it personal. And that happens a lot in my life. And seems to be, I don't know. You guys let me know. We're getting deep here. Ooh.
And we don't know what we're going to talk about before we sit here. So it's always interesting to me where we're going to go. Where are we going to end up here?
I know. Here's Randy's unhealed parts right now. Actually, it's getting better. But this is a trend in my life. And this was actually when I was working with my mentor, one of the things that was really come up is that people don't listen to me. They don't listen to me, but here's the thing. They all come to me to fix their problems. Help me figure this out. Help me figure that out. What's your opinion on this? They seek me out and they completely blatantly flip it into the exact opposite. And it took me a long time to be not take that personally. Mm-hmm. And it still does sometimes, every now and again. You could probably tell how heated I got in my voice there because there was that fresh incident this week. But it's don't do that if you're going to you're blatantly going to do the opposite. Because I know these people know they already have their opinions before they're coming. So my ego doesn't need you to come ask me, So why are you doing it? Now I've gotten to the point where I'm interesting. Why do you do that?
Dissecting their
what unhealed part of you is asking you, what is it? Just the external validation, put on the coaching hat. So why? But it's fascinating. But that was my biggest unhealed part. And I'm still working on it is if you're coming to me, listen,
What's my most unhealed part?
It reminds me of what you told me though in my Akashic record though.
Yes. Remember that past life where you were are you talking about the one in the cave or the well? You just were captive and no one listened to you?
That was one of them. But then it was also just what my goal is. My karma, right? My bad karma is shutting down and not talking to people. Because I'm straight up, fuck you guys. Figure it out yourself then. Fuck you and fuck you and fuck you, right? Which I could do.
Yes.
But clearly I've done that way too many times in the past life because here I am again. But
yeah, definitely the goal this time is to be seen and heard and I don't give a fuck what you think. But still being there. And I don't know what mine is. It's really convoluted. I got more healing to do, it seems like. But I definitely have learned through sessions with Randy. Check her out. She knows how to hit you where it hurts, but it opens up.
That sounds good. No. She'll fuck you, put you through the ringer.
Well, honestly though, it's instant. As soon as you figure out what the issue is, my whole world changed almost instantly. And anyway, things I never ever would have said. I don't feel lovable. So I take anybody who doesn't listen to me or doesn't that I love. If you're a stranger, come at me. I've heard every insult in the book and it won't hurt me. But if I love you and you're important to me and you say something shitty, it's just what the fuck is wrong with me? Anyway, so I just I don't love myself enough to be that you can't hurt me. And I know my own worth. So there's a lot of other things in there, but fuck. And that is part of my shadow. When I look at it, it's I'm two people. And not two people, but my issue is I fight myself. It's who I really am is this weird eclectic person. And then I feel I have to be prim and proper and make my parents proud. And they don't get along. There's two different versions of what I want and they're not friends. But fuck, is it ever hard? And one of the best channeled messages I've ever pulled out of the Akashic records is your expectations of other people are your demise. Mm-hmm. This is why relationships fail. You expect your husband or wife or partner to be fit into this box when really you're supposed to be your own soulmate. Yeah. And then the other person, you just share energy and you
Mhm.
share the joy of the ride. But
You
like,
complement each other.
yeah, but you are your own soulmate. But we put the expectations of our happiness and our fulfillment, and this is what it means to be in a healthy relationship or a healthy parent-child or healthy sibling relationship. It looks like this. And it's just like, that'll kill you.
Yeah. There's a reason I tell all my clients, fuck expectation.
Oh, it's your demise in every category, every relationship, every category.
Do not throw expectation out the window, because you're just limiting yourself, really. So throw that out the window and just try to be present in the moment and accept everything for what it is. And that's fucking hard. I get it. I can sit here and talk till I'm blue in the face, but it's hard to fucking do.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And I feel people need to realize, like, I don't know what your standpoint is on this, but my standpoint, and maybe it's the unhealed version of me speaking.
I know, it's like, okay, which person's talking
I know,
right
is it
now?
the healed or unhealed? I don't know.
Is this my ego or what?
Exactly.
God.
But I do believe that your relationships are only, like, whether it's with your parents or your children or your partners or whoever, they're only necessary to sit with until you learn the reason why and the lesson. You do not have to continually torment yourself by going to see a parent who totally rejects you, or to stay in a marriage where that person holds you down. But you have to realize before you decide to walk away what the fuck the point of that was.
And why?
Otherwise, the same issues repeat in every other person.
Oh, exactly. Why are you staying there? Because you choose it. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. Here's my another thing that's come up channeling this week. And this is a global scale. This is not just individually, but individually as well. Like the power. You have way more power than you think.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Think about it. Your personal constitution, for lack of a better word, right?
Yep.
It's as strong as you let it be, I guess. Because, okay, so let me tell you something. Oh my God, this is getting really deep and I don't even know right now.
I'm like at the edge of my seat. I'm like, what's Randy gonna say?
I'm like, fuck, here goes all our listeners. That's all I keep thinking this week. But it's like, no, my husband and I were talking, because my husband's gone on, you guys, if you knew him before to now, fuck me. Okay, he has gone through a transformation. But the hardest part of being awake is dealing with the people who are not.
Amen. Podcast done. That's it.
Yeah.
It's the hardest.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
But that's the hardest part, because it's, especially when it's close people, because you're sitting there and you're doing the work and you're like, fuck, this makes my life so much better. And then you're looking at all the people who are still asleep, and it's like, why are you choosing this? And you want to shake them and you want to smash their head against the wall. And you're like, bitch, what the fuck? You know? But again, you cannot do that for somebody. No. That's again, your ego taking over and controlling others, right? Because if we come from the soul point, it's like, I will love you regardless. You know, you're stuck here and that's okay. I will envelop you and love you until you choose to grow. Yes. Right? But that's hard.
And then we have to be careful with the expectations again, because it's like, it doesn't necessarily, so when I'm saying you only have to stay somewhere as long as it takes you to learn the lesson. But let's say you're holding that space of like love and acceptance and like, I accept you and love you no matter what. But if they aren't willing to grow with you, you have to shift your expectations as the wife or the husband or the daughter. You don't have to be serving yourself up to a place or a table that doesn't serve you anymore. So it's like we have to be really cognizant of the expectations we place on others, but also the unknowing expectations we place on ourselves. To love somebody, it doesn't mean you have to kiss their ass and listen to their beck and call. They're their own worst enemy too, just as we are to ourselves. And Absolutely. It's like, watch out the expectations not only you put on others, but also yourself, because it'll kill you either way.
I don't know which podcast it was, but we talked about compassion. And compassion, ladies and gentlemen, is not the, I'm going to hold space for you and love you and be really kind to others. I mean, yeah, to a degree. But you know what it is? It's fucking tough love. It's not allowing people like, it's not enabling them in their behaviors over and over and over again. And it is certainly not breaking your own boundaries. Okay. So compassion paints this picture. Here's the thing. We've been spoon-fed so much stuff, and relearning that's difficult. Like compassion, you think you need to be compassionate to others. You need to be nice to others. You need to do everything for others, for others, for others, for others. That's bullshit.
We have taken that concept of the golden rule way too fluffy and soft. Like, it's like,
we took something out of it that it wasn't even there.
Exactly. We've misinterpreted it, where we're like, I have to do unto others as I wish done unto myself. So then you go and you donate and you volunteer and you slave away with a relationship that doesn't serve you, or a family member that doesn't serve you, because that's how you want to be treated, is with love and compassion. But that's not correct. It's just being like leaving people to their own sovereignty. We're all one. But we're also in a world right now where the 3D Earth experience is like the illusion of separation and individuality. So if we're going to go out and love that, like, if we're just taking it too fluffy and soft, it's like that compassion is like, I see you and I want what's best for you, but this is your journey.
Yeah. I will not enable you to continue this behavior with me, right? You can do whatever you want with other people, but I am not allowing this with me, because I would hope that you would do this for me.
Exactly. And the first person you got to be compassionate to is you.
Amen.
So if you're giving, external.
Are you getting that back? Probably not.
Exactly. And it's like, what are you saying that's belittling you? It's now not in a place of everyone's equal, treat everyone as, you're literally self-sacrificing.
You're putting everyone above. Yes. Like, you know what that's saying? That's saying I'm dirt. I'm beyond, like, I'm lower than anything. My priorities don't matter. My needs don't need to be met. I'm begging them for them to be met, but they don't need to, because I'm telling the universe I am below.
And the universe will respond and amplify that.
Absolutely.
So I see this all the time, and it's a really sore spot for me, because it was my story. It was exactly what I did. I gave so much to everyone else under the expectation. Like, I am really like loving and like I don't know what the word is, but like, I don't understand why people do shitty things to each other. So I would never assume that me loving someone would then backfire and come at me, and it fucking comes at me. So it's not working. But giving, and not recognizing that I was saying I don't matter as much as this other person. And then the universe comes at you and says, as you wish. Then you will be carrying this person, that person you're trying to help heal will now expect you to enable them. And literally, we're all hamsters in a wheel that go nowhere. You're carrying somebody else's karma and healing. You're avoiding your own karma and healing. And literally, no one is moving forward at all for any reason whatsoever.
Exactly. Right? Fuck. I feel like we're really preachy today. Time to get off the soapbox.
Yeah, totally. But sorry. I feel like we hit on subjects that like trigger Randy and I so bad. And it's because we've lived it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we get a little bit heated and like spooled
like,
up about
bitches.
It. Yeah. But I'm sure you guys all feel it on the other end. Like, I know each and every single one of you are dealing with this right now.
Oh, totally. Or it wouldn't have come through.
Exactly.
Right?
Because we both set the intention that we're just going to channel through what the people on the other side need to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's hard. It's so fucking hard. And then back to the grieving.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the hardest things that I've been dealing with, and it's like, oh my God, I was that person. This person that I'm super frustrated with. This person that I'm like, cannot believe, that I'm just like, what is your problem? And I realize, wow.
Mm.
And that changes things.
So like, what's the version of you that was the hardest to lay to rest?
Tough questions by Kayla. I would have to say the hardest part is fuck me, how am I going to put this? The one who is very, and I hate this word now, like fucking hate it, quote unquote, strong, right? because I was raised in a very
Mm-hmm.
masculine world of, and I mean, we're all girls basically, but it was a very masculine world of you don't trust anyone, you don't show emotion, you know, you suck it up and you deal with what's given you, you know, and so on and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did I end up in a fucking police world where it's like you suck it up, you don't show emotion, and you do this and you do that, and you know, you don't ask questions and you fucking do what you're told.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very hard to put that to bed.
Right.
At least for me.
No, and then as you say that, I'm like, I kind of feel like maybe that's the hardest part for everyone to put to bed, but not in the exact same way. But I think a lot of us, it would be acknowledging that we're vulnerable in some way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest part to lay to rest. Like, you're not invincible and bulletproof, and you do have feelings and things do hurt you. Because even when you were saying that, I was like, kind of like resonates. I'm like, yeah, like, acknowledging that I'm not invincible and people can hurt my feelings is huge. That's a version of me that I'm having trouble laying to rest, that I'm like wounded. It's like, no, I'm good to go. But then Randy calls me out all the time on all my triggers. Running away isn't going to help you here. And like, that's my go-to. Like, I should just move to the mountains. I'm going to move to Mexico. And Randy's like, is that really going to help you? Because you're just going to sit there and be like, why doesn't anyone love me? I'm alone. How the fuck do you know that's exactly what I say myself?
Well, that got deep.
Mm-hmm.
So deep, I need hip waders.
Totally.
Anyway, that went on a tangent that honestly, that was not meant to turn into that. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what we're talking about anymore. Like, what the fuck was that?
But you know what? I feel like this week has been heavy energy. So,
yeah,
you know,
right?
and like I've heard from a lot of people. So I feel like our energy feels a little bit heavy because I think, but we're all feeling heavy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like it just comes through as it needs to. But yeah, like, fuck, there's been a lot of shit going on in my little world. So
yeah, right?
Yeah.
So we're kind of dealing with a freaking forest fire right now.
Yeah.
Like, your mom got evacuated.
My mom was evacuated, and she lives on the farm because that's where the forest is. And she moved in with her 3 farm cats, a dog, and then her. And it's just normally like me and my partner and my dog. So it's just like a lot of extra energy.
Yeah.
In one space, and like stress.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Well, and it's uprooting your whole energy level in your house. That fucks you up. Like, you should.
Oh yeah. I was like, I need to go somewhere to relax, but I don't know where it is. So I was just sitting outside in my little like work gazebo, and then it just became really cold. It was like plus 30 here, and then now it's like plus 10. It's very cold.
It was -3 this morning when I got up.
Okay, it was -3.
This is Celsius, by the way, for all those in the United States.
Yeah, so like 3 degrees below freezing. So it was
fucking cold.
Fucking cold. And I was like, I guess I can't sit outside anymore. So I was just like, where do I go? And like, when you like elevate your consciousness, it's like, I normally never would have noticed like back in the day, but now I'm so fucking sensitive to every little energy tweak. And I felt really like misplaced. I remember going to my favorite restaurant and I was like working a little bit and I got so much done there.
I know, right? I almost did that the other day.
I was like, it's just better here than my house right now. It's a lot of energy.
Yeah. I just think like the collective energy, because shit's just going down. It's like a little,
yeah.
And the smoke, it's blowing away from us. Like, we don't even really smell it.
Mm-mm.
And it's super close, which is weird. But my allergies have gone so fucking haywire. It's like, shit. I looked like I was crying yesterday. Like, I had to tell my client on Zoom, if I'm blinking and looking weird, like, I'm not crying. I'm not, I'm not being weird. It's just, they're irritated and there's nothing I can do about it. I was putting my concealer on and I didn't even bother because they were just like, I was tearing so bad, they were running away. And I was like, well, this is attractive.
Yeah. And okay, so there's 3 cats living in my house and I don't remember being allergic to cats in my childhood, but we didn't have house cats. But I'm like, I try to fight it. I'm like, I'm not allergic to cats. I like cats. I'm allergic to cats. So just like rubbing my eyes and like sniffling. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? And I'm like, oh yeah, got 3 housemates that I'm a little bit allergic to.
Yeah, 3's a little much when you're not used to any in your house.
Yeah, but no, they're so cute. I love them.
They are so cute.
But yeah, the allergies are crazy. The energy in our town right now is a really like heightened because of the forest fire. It's like there's a state of emergency happening. But Just in case you're wondering, my mom got to go home. It moved, so the wind has been so strong. The fire has moved so far, like out of her area. She was permitted to go back.
Sounds like a friend of mine who's like, the fire was pretty much directly behind her house gets to go back later today.
Okay.
So things are moving. Things are good.
Yeah. And like there was power was knocked out for like 3 or 4 days.
Oh yeah, all the way like up to Grandmother's Bay, I think. Like, it was far up. Everyone's like listening, going, Grandmother's Bay. Where the fuck are you people?
Very north. Yeah.
It's very north.
Yeah. So the energy in our particular area is really heavy, but I'm thinking like everyone's feeling a bit heavy.
Well, we're going into eclipse season.
Oh yeah.
We got a lunar eclipse at the end of the freaking.
And I've recently learned I hate Taurus season.
Really?
I fucking hate it. I've never felt so heavy in my whole life. And I was kind of like asking my astrology friends, I'm like, why do I feel like a piece of trash? And they were like, well, Taurus is very earthly and grounded and physical and material. And she's like, so you like to dance around in like the spiritual world. So this is like heavy for you. And I'm like,
I can see that.
Oh, I literally, like the day Taurus season came in, I was just exhausted. And I'm like, can't wait to get into Gemini season because I fucking hate this.
That's so funny. I feel like when it gets to Sag season, like Sagittarius, and it's a fire sign. I'm a fire sign. So you would think.
Interesting.
You would think. But like, you know, Sagittarius season, like getting into Christmas and stuff like that, I get so bitchy. I cannot, like, my temper flares. Like, I cannot stand it. My ego's going, and I'm like, ooh, rein it back. You know, but but it's funny because I am a fire sign. But that just goes to show you.
I feel like I'm pretty sure I was kind of like researching, and I was a Sagittarius in my past life, and I like really love like Sagittarius energy. But it's like my problem in this life. Yeah. I want too much freedom and I want no responsibility. And I was going to say, like.
When I first met you, my guess would have been that you were a Sagittarius.
I was in my past life. But now it's like one of my problems, right? Like I just like took it a little bit too far. And I have no allegiance to anything except for like my truth, which is thank God. Because that's not typical of Sagittarius. Sagittarius are like real, like, just like woo, but I love that. If you're a Sagittarius, I fucking love you. So
anyway. You annoy the crap out of me because I just don't understand.
No, I feel like
I actually love Sagittarius. Like their energy is so cool, but I don't understand it. Like it just blows my mind a little bit.
I'm not really too sure. I don't know that much about astrology, but I know that I was a Sagittarius, and I want that freedom back.
Well, they're just free spirits, right? Yeah. And I'm just so not. Like to a degree. I mean, to a degree I am. Like I'm going to wear what I want. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to be my little Aquarius moon rebel self.
Yes.
But when it comes to like that's who you are. I'm like.
That's true.
Huh. What is that like? You know, I knew a guy and he's a Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And I'm like, no, I don't understand.
Yeah, that's crazy. I do have I'm just curious. If you're an astrology person, fucking holla at me because I don't know the answer. Your moon, is that like part of who you really are? Or is it part of like your karma and like your wounds and stuff like that? Because like I do highly resonate. I'm a Virgo moon and that makes sense to me. I'm like, I do feel really Virgo-y. Does your moon almost like never change? Is it part of who you are? Like, I just don't even understand.
You know what? I've looked this up, 1,000,001 things, and I'm probably going to get this wrong. So don't come at me at the comments. Because
we're not astrologers.
Definitely not. Not. It fascinates me, but I'm like, no, I don't get it. Math. I'm like, degree of what? Huh?
What? Trines, Venus. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, I don't understand. But where was I going? Oh, right. The moon rising. And I was like, sun is what like you kind of are, or at least how you're perceived. And then the moon is like kind of almost like your shadow self, kind of more who you truly
like
are.
Your emotions, you know, like what you feel.
Yeah, like it's like how the world sees you and who you think that you are.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I can't remember what your
rising is like, I think it's like the first impression that you give people.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
And mine's a Capricorn.
Mine's Cancer.
Which is like hilarious. I can see how people would perceive me as a Capricorn.
100%.
And I resonate real hard with Capricorns too. Like they're like real dark and like metally, and I'm dark and metally. Like I love that.
Well, and they're like, look at my horns, bitch, try me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can see how that's my first perception. And I can see, like, when I remember first meeting you, I can see how that'd be your first perception. But now that we know each other, it makes me laugh. I'm like, you wish you were Cancer.
Oh my God, no, I don't.
That's what I mean. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's so far off base.
But
it's
you know
ridiculous.
what? It's stupid though, because I actually am very Cancer-y.
Mm.
I'm a homebody.
Mm.
Like I just why can't we all just get along? You know, like just love each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what okay, so I don't have any kids. I ain't gonna have no kids, ladies and gentlemen. There's just no like biologically it's not happening.
Mm.
So I used to teach dance and do a lot of plays. There's my Leo right there. I did a lot of plays.
Which is also funny to me. Like when you first told me that, I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember I've done Annie twice and I was Miss Hannigan twice.
Yes.
And I had all these cute little dance babies. And one of them, Sarah. Hi, Sarah. If you're listening, she probably doesn't remember this. But I was standing there and I was waiting for them like to go on stage for the next thing. And I was just like stroking her hair and be like, it's okay. Because they were getting tired, right? Like it was a late show and they were like young. And I was just like, and she turns to me and she says, you're going to make a great mom someday. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you.
Get out of here, Sarah.
I was like, what? It just took me by surprise, but that's that kind of Cancer energy.
Yes.
Right? So I'm like, oh, I can see why you would say that.
Yes.
But no.
No, I know. I mean, I don't know. It's like famous last words. I'm never, but I don't think that's in the cards for me. I am a Sag somewhere in there, and she doesn't like to be tied down to anyone or anything. And I hate responsibility. I have like a million plants. I love plants. My house is like a fucking greenhouse. But like even when I'm tired and they need to be watered, I'm like, can't you just fucking water yourselves? Like that's how little responsibility I want over anything. So
that's funny.
And I do have horns. I'm an Aries. So I have Capricorn, and then I'm an Aries. So like, watch out. I have zero patience.
Is Capricorn an air sign?
I think it's Earth.
Earth. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Because I'm like, how are they an air sign?
Oh
no, yeah, because they're right before Aquarius, and Aquarius is Earth.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't have patience for anything.
No.
I would be a terrible parent. Like I just know I've snapped on many of things and many of children in my life, and I'm like, I don't want to create a shadow in my child. Not interested. Let's close the line here and let's just move on.
Yeah. We're gonna just change the generational curses that I have, and
I will heal the shadow I was gifted from my family and my lineage, but it dies with me. We're done here.
Meanwhile, your sister has 6 kids. Hi, Alyssa.
Oh my God. You know what? It's funny. My mom is like, she wants to be a grandmother so badly. She's had 4 children, and all of us are just misfit as fuck. And like, I have one brother who he's Muslim. Tip for the day. He's Muslim.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He converted to Islam like a few years ago, and he's obviously like, that's where his soul is from, because he met his like for real soulmate, and they are so good together. And she's a Muslim woman, and they are just like, I don't even know who my brother is. He's just happy and nice and funny now. And he wasn't like that when he was trying to conform into our system.
I love it.
I'm so proud of him. So he is going to have children because he's Muslim, and, you know, like she wants to have like 6 kids or something like that. My brother's like, I thought we agreed on 4. She's always like, we should have 6. So,
oh my God, that's hilarious.
I'm so excited. And like, she is from Northeast Africa. So you're gonna be like little blended mixed babies, because my brother's white and she's like darker, like mocha skin. And I'm like, give me those nieces and nephews now. And then
you got 6. You gotta get on the call here.
My brother said to me, I was on a FaceTime call with him, and he's like, the only person that's allowed to watch our kids is Alyssa, because she won't corrupt their mind with nonsense. Oh! And he was just joking. He's a real funny guy.
That's funny.
I was like, I promise I won't say anything weird. I'll just take care of them. I promise. So anyway, he's going to have kids, but they live in Minneapolis. So they live quite far away. Then there's like me, and I've said this since I was like high school. Like I was like, I don't want to do it, Mom. My sister's kind of like, I don't know. And my brother Dylan, I'm pretty sure he doesn't listen to this, but he can hardly keep himself alive. Oh no. I love him. He's the best, but he's just winging life, really. I'm like,
That's so funny.
So my poor mother, she thought, I'm going to have 1 million grandkids. And
she's gonna have 6. That's a lot.
All the heat is on my one brother. So let's hope everything works down there because my mom's gonna be so screwed.
Oh God. Oh, that's so funny.
But again, that's my mother's problem, not my brother's or mine or my sister's.
Yeah. My mom got 1 grandkid. That should be good enough.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Yeah. It's so funny. Where is this even going?
Yeah, like how did we get here? Why are we talking about my Muslim brother and children?
Yeah, and I'm like my mom, okay, so when my sister announced she was pregnant, it was this big like, oh my God, yay, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, they're not married. So my dad was kind of like, well, I don't like the way you do it, but he was still excited about it, right?
Your dad, like, I don't know, I've never met him, but I just like feel like I like your dad.
You can't help but like mean old Gene, you know?
I just like him. I never met him, but I think I like him.
Yeah, he's just funny. So anyway, but he, Mean Gene, that was his name for a long time. But anyway, so I announced we're pregnant. And because I always said growing up too, I was not having kids, right? It was like, fuck this. And I even had a dream that I would have miscarriages. Like I dreamt that when I was like 14. So anyway, so this was me flipping our thing, right? And it was like, pregnant. My initial reaction, fuck. Like it was just like that. And I went to Keith and he's like, what? And I showed him and he's like, fuck. Like
that is hilarious, actually.
That was our reaction. I mean, we got happy about it afterwards. But then we went and told my parents, who have been preaching to me. My mom has been preaching for me, to have a kid since I was like 16. When I was 20 and would go out to the bars and I never drank, she'd be like, well, did you hook up? And I'd be like, no. And she'd be like, well, that was a waste of a good drunk. Like that's what she was, because she wanted grandkids so bad, right? Oh my God. That's my mother for you. But then, so we go and we tell them. So my sister got fanfare. My mom and my dad looked at me, looked at Keith, looked at each other, and looked horrified.
Oh, Lord.
And they were like, are you okay?
Did they know you didn't want kids or
yeah,
oh, okay.
But they were, I don't know. But
that's weird. I don't even understand. Where did that angle come from?
What they were like?
What was their angle?
Like, I don't know.
Scared?
Just because it was, they looked like, not horrified. That's not the right word, but just like.
Shocked and appalled.
Just confused even.
Yeah.
And but I think deep down we all knew that I was not going to end up keeping this baby because I ended up miscarrying 2 weeks later, right? Mm-hmm. But it was like, we were all kind of like, yeah. So
maybe everyone just intuitively knew.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think that because honestly, there was fanfare. You know?
Right.
But it was very reserved.
I wonder what'll happen if anyone's ever expecting a child in my family. I'm the oldest and I don't know, I feel like, are we late bloomers or what? I'm 31, so I'm it's not super young, not super old. And everyone consecutively goes down from me, fairly normal, 20, my brother's 29 and blah, blah, blah. It's
How old is Alyssa? 24?
22.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, Alyssa.
No, but you know what? We get mistaken.
She seems so mature, though.
She's so mature for her age. And we look really similar. And we went to Saskatoon not that long ago. And we were kind of hanging out and like, are you guys twins? And we're like, believe it or not, we're 9 years apart. So there's 4 of us. So she was much down the line. I feel like I manifested her. I feel like my parents were we're done with this. And I'm like, I wanted a sister. Every time I got a fucking brother, I'm not done with this. And then finally she came along. So, fuck yeah.
And then they're done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now they're done. But yeah, I wonder what the reaction will be in my household. I think it would be pretty exciting. But anyway, I made a deal with the universe when I was in high school. And I was like, we're never going to do this, man. And I was like, don't even test me with it because we're not fucking doing it. And luckily I've scathed by, but I've been I'm very much we're not doing this. So don't fuck around. So
there you go.
Phew. Because that's probably my nightmare. Because you don't want to that's just my nightmare. I just can't even.
Yeah. Yeah. No, looking at all the stuff that's happened since 5 years ago when that happened, I'm like, whoa, thank God.
Yes.
Wow,
totally.
Freaking super mentally ill, had a mental breakdown where I was not a person for 2 years. I was a zombie. It was brutal. I
can't believe it was 2 years. That's just
probably realistically, probably more than that. But,
wow.
But it was bad. So I can't imagine if I'd have had a kid during that time. That would have been really hard on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually really thankful for that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Again, weird tangent.
I know.
Where is this going?
I have no idea.
You know, okay, here's a story, you guys. We picked cards today. We pulled cards for a topic because we're like, let us know if you liked last week's when it was just more conversational. We fucking just winged it, but I guess that's what we're doing this time, so whatever. Yeah. But we pulled a card, and like, grieving was one of the ones that we pulled, and we were like, perfect. We know what we're talking about. And then we also picked your time is precious, invest it wisely. And we're like, yes, we're going to talk about time and all of this. This did not turn into that at all, my friends.
But you know what? Your time is precious, invest it wisely really ties into like literally everything we've talked about, though.
I guess, yeah, actually,
you know,
yeah.
Like,
as that underlier message.
Yeah. You know, like, you don't have to show up for people over and over and over again. Like, prioritize yourself. And even like we've talked about parenting, and it's like, it applies to everything. Like, Randy and I don't have children, but like, we're investing our time and right now in this life into ourselves and our healing and our gifts. But then, you know what? Like, I know I have some really great friends that have like little armies of children. They have quite a few. And you know what? They've like invested their time into producing these like beautiful little souls that are going to come and revolutionize the world.
Do you ever get called selfish though?
No, but this is one of those things that like, don't you even. Like, if you want to see a girl snap, tell me I'm selfish for wanting to have kids. So like, my mom doesn't even bother. No one would say anything to me because it's a death wish in my household.
Oh, I've gotten called that by strangers. I've gotten called that by my family. I've got told that I don't know dick shit. How could I? Because you're not a mom. Like, I've been berated. And it was like, whoa, where did that come from?
Super offensive. Like, you had like a miscarriage. Like, you can't fucking say that to people.
Technically, I've had 3.
Oh Lord. Like, yeah. Don't say that to people. Like,
yeah, you don't know. But that's, and they do know that. It kind of backed off after the big one though, where I like, you know, officially was and then wasn't. Mm-hmm. But it's, yeah, don't ever call people selfish for not wanting kids. If you want them, props to you, because you guys fucking rock it.
So there's you're super men and super women out there, because Jesus Christ, I could never do this.
Amen. But somewhere along the line, and this is actually, I was going to bring this up before, and it's just come back full circle, so it's meant to come out, obviously.
Right.
But somewhere along the line, selfish became a 4-letter word. Right?
Which is what?
Well, which is like a bad thing.
Oh,
you know,
I
like there's like shit.
Yeah.
You know, but it became a 4-letter word of, it's bad. Well, no, actually, being selfish, when you use it correctly, like everything else, it's all about balance. Mm-hmm. So if you take time for yourself, I think this is where the self-love, self-care routine really falls by the wayside for men and women. Mm-hmm. Because you're being called selfish. Especially if it seems to be
100%.
Especially parents. Like, I feel really bad for you people. Oh, you want a weekend away without your kids? Fucking selfish. Mm-hmm. How dare you? Like, good for you guys. You know, like, you need to prioritize yourself. And I've said this in 1,000,001 readings. I've said it to my clients. That old adage of when you're in the plane and they're like, you need to put your air mask on before you help everybody else. Duh. Like, that's that, they tell you that for a reason, because if your cup isn't full, how are you going to give to other people?
Exactly.
So why is it so berated?
And I've heard, like, through channeled messages and stuff through my clients, you know, they're like, how can I help my kids best? And it says, I'm not kidding you guys, every single fucking time, take care of yourself, heal yourself, because then you're this powerhouse of a parent that lights the way for your children. Mm-hmm. It's like, do not put your family on a pedestal and self-sacrifice, because you are putting the wrong messages to them. And that's not me making that up. It's like your spirit guide saying that to you, and they'll say it to you 1,000,000 times. Like, you cannot be the role model you want if you don't have some element of selfishness and you're taking care of yourself. And it's like, I don't know why that's such a curse word. It's just like ridiculous. And you know what? Like, I've seen past lives. I have had children. It's not like I'm aversions to mother or children. I've seen myself in those lifetimes.
Me
and
too.
I've never loved something so much. Like, you're like, this is so beautiful and I love you. But like, I just need to, I feel like I willingly compounded into like a massacre of karma because I created it, an ancestral line that needs a lot of work. And I was like, I'm taking the role as I want to help close these things out and just close it out, you know?
Yeah.
And like, no matter how you spin it, having children creates a karmic lineage.
True.
Like, you can't avoid that that's a thing. So it's like, just give people credit, leave people alone. Everyone can do what they want to do, and nothing is selfish if it's honoring their highest good.
And don't judge people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't judge them.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because you don't know. You don't know. Wow, you guys. I don't even know what's happening this week. I guess we're sticking with the conversational style.
Which, let us know. We've got some good feedback. It was from my sister, so maybe actually, no, my sister is fucking honest. And she was just like, I actually like that. I felt like I was hanging out with you. And I laughed out loud. And I was like, okay, cool. We're a little more intense this week. Like, the energy is a little more intense this week. But yeah, I don't even know. But moral of the fucking story is like, it's okay to be sad about the person that you're leaving behind. It's okay to move into uncharted territories and be afraid of the unknown. And I think like the final piece of the puzzle is like, sometimes it's not about money and love and acceptance and success. It's about like investing your time where you feel the happiest, whether that's like motherhood or entrepreneurship or healing or the lack thereof, any of those things.
Exactly.
It's just like, just do what feels right to you in each moment, and don't waste your time with the expectations of others.
You do you, boo.
Yeah. Or feeling bad about the person that you were, but you're not anymore.
Yeah.
Which is huge in my life. I am fucking struggling with that. And it's not me. I don't feel bad about who I'm becoming. I'm proud of her, but I feel guilty about the expectations that I'm not upholding for other people that I love.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, no, I'm loving who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even feel guilty about it. It's like you can see the divide happening, right? When you and I talked about this on our break, is you can see the split.
Yeah.
You can see the split now. And before it was kind of like everyone's kind of just going and we'll see what happens. But now I can start to see the definite splitting off.
From the awakening, the healing, the people choosing not to.
And the ones who could go one way and are choosing not to.
Yeah.
And that, when you see that, it can be very disheartening. And I think that's where I'm at right now. It's not, I don't feel sad about me. I don't, because I'm over that grieving period. And I'm okay being vulnerable. Obviously, what the fuck was I talking about? You know, which old me never would have done that ever. So growth, so #growth. But like to see the split, and that's what I'm having a hard time with.
It's actually like, I remember there was a point, like, let's say December 21st, because I remember like the high vibes of that day were insane. And I was like, fucking people are going to make it. People are going to awaken. It's going to happen. And then like, it's like that powerhouse day. I've seen more people choose to remain where they are. And it's been more people than I would care to have seen. I really thought more people were going to be coming on this journey than there is.
Yeah.
And it's been hard. And it's okay to grieve that loss too. Like, it's not even just about laying yourself to rest. It's like, fuck, laying the family members that aren't going to make it to you.
Relatives.
Yes, make it with you into awakening. Like, it's hard.
It is hard. It's disappointing. That's how I felt this week. I felt disappointed and hurt. And I know that's on me because you cannot, and I think it's just that the hurt came from the realization that you cannot save who you want to.
No matter how much information or love or just like longing for that person to come with you, or
support or information you give, it doesn't matter.
No,
it's their choice. So seeing that split in that new light is the most difficult, in my opinion. Even harder than saying goodbye to yourself.
Right. Actually, yeah, I could see that. I could see that for sure, because it's like not only are you grieving a piece of yourself that you've let go, but like there's a fucking wave of people going with it. It's a funeral for a lot of people, not just you.
Yeah.
And as you said that, it reminded me, like, just for a moment, like how grateful I am that there's people on the other side of this listening to us right now talking about straight fucking nonsense.
Amen.
And then
to you
like
guys.
choosing to be on that like awakened path. And it's like, as you go through this bullshit and this grieving and this healing and the divide, as you feel the divide, I think the purpose of this podcast is so that you fucking know you're not alone. Like, we are here, we feel it, we've all been through it, you're not going through it alone. And like, honestly, if you're one of those people that's struggling, like, send us an email, because trust me, it like let us know, comment, like, share, like, let us know, because we're with you.
Yeah,
like, we're
as you
with
can
you.
tell by our recent episodes, like, we're in it with you. So yeah, shoot us an email. Speaking of emails, we actually got one.
Yes, you got a beautiful one.
Beautiful one. You want to read that?
I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but basically we got like a shout out from our girl Amy. What's up?
What's up, Amy?
What's up? And she was just sort of talking to us about how she has been kind of going through it, and she feels like she's in this pressure cooker, which is an awakening fucking symptom.
Go back and listen to Ascension Symptoms Got Me Like, what? Because that is definitely
the pressure cooker of trying to figure out who she is and like how to step into that fullness. And like the pressure is there, yes, but it's not necessary. Don't add more to your plate than you need to. But like, and like she's kind of talking about how, you know, there's signs coming in, divine timing. Should I move into this? Should I move into that? And it's like, yes, if you're in the fucking roller coaster of awakening right now, everything is a message. It doesn't mean you have to like subscribe to every channel and log into every course and anything like that, but it's like, explore it. And
listen to the signs. It'll take you where it needs to go.
And if you're feeling called to something in specific, like, see it out. Sometimes it's like learning and healing is a part of trial and error. Like,
and you know what? If you're not sure, everywhere has contact info. Reach out, ask questions. Like, it's not a bad thing.
Yes. And she actually mentions like imposter, like feeling that imposter syndrome and not feeling like, you know, like not confident. Like, should I really reach out to these people? Should I really do this? And the answer is just send an email. Like, honestly, just do it. Like, you'll learn so much about yourself. And like, I don't know, if you're looking in the right places, like we talked about at the beginning of this episode, like, we're all equal.
Totally.
Like, I think Randy and I can attest, we were almost like thrown into our awakenings. And it's just like, it just so happens that like we have a random podcast, but like you could have a podcast too.
Oh, for sure.
like, do you know what I'm saying? And she's like, there's just opportunities and things opening up and shifting more and more into her authentic self, and like needing to build that confidence. And yeah, she says her old therapist isn't cutting it anymore. She needs to seek more spiritual help. Fucking amen.
I love that, right? You know what? One of my clients, he literally, and he's just, I'm so proud of him. He's oh my God, his progress. He just makes me happy seeing that progression. But he told me, he's like, I need this with regular therapy. He's like, it's the best compliment for it. And I was like, aw, that's awesome, because he gets the help, like the regular, just kind of unbiased talking, but then he also gets like the spiritual side. So it's like makes that perfect full circle, tight knit circle.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, I said circle.
No,
twice.
I got you. It makes sense over here. No, but seriously, and it's like for people like me, and I don't know, maybe like Amy can resonate. I don't know, like, I feel vastly misunderstood by like 90% of the people that I encounter. And it's like, that's a me problem. It's not anyone else's problem. They don't get me. It's a fucking me problem.
Yes.
But like, I have to seek, like, I have to go to a space where people can hear me in that like spiritual sense. So like, yeah, like Randy's fucking spiritual counseling has been my go-to. And I can't say enough about it. Like, healers need healing too.
Absolutely.
And Randy's mine. And it's just like fuck, like, I just, you know, I don't know. You just need it. And it's like, sometimes when you go into those spaces, people just don't get the internal struggle that's going on when you're like I said, I feel like I'm two people sometimes. I'm being pulled into my expectations and how could I make my family or my friends or my peers proud? And it's not about the validation, but it's like the expectation that you absorb and place on yourself and fucking think you have to do that.
And now say it with me, guys. What do we say about expectation? 3, 2, 1. Fuck expectation.
Woo!
Maybe that'll be the name of this one. Fuck expectation.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, I need to go where I'm heard. And it's just...
So thank you guys for listening. From 2 girls who never feel like heard. This is a pretty big deal for us. So thank you guys for being here.
Oh, God. Amen to that. Anyway, send us emails.
Yes.
We love it.
Yes, tell us about your life. Tell us about you. I would like to give a Patreon shout out though. What? To our abundant bitch, Teresa S. Woo! Welcome to the club, Teresa. What?
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. You guys get all the bonus content. We're actually recording the bonus episode after this, so it'll be fun, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys are interested, check out our Patreon. It'll be in the link somewhere. I don't know. Like you'll get your own private Facebook group and shit. Like it's fun.
Exactly.
Oh, which reminds me, I'm actually gonna remember how last week we were talking about the music.
Yes.
And like freaking hybrid fucking crazy ass.
Yes,
fucking
I
check
want to
them.
hear that shit.
You know what? It's good to meditate too. That sounds fucked.
Yeah, I
but
want to hear
like
that.
I've been seeing some really good shit when I've been meditating.
Really?
Yeah, fuck.
Okay, I feel like I have
woo!
pent up rage, and metal just lets me throw that down. And be
Well,
like,
it's kind
"Fuck
of like
this."
that though.
Yeah. It is kind of.
But it's more like straight up action film. Like I feel like such a badass. So I'm gonna post that I think in the private Patreon group.
Do it. I'll post my song too. Teresa, hopefully you like metal.
And if you don't have to listen to it.
Exactly.
Anyway, you guys, this has been like over an hour, I'm sure, of us just fucking blabbing bullshit again. But you know what?
I feel like
came through.
Yeah. I feel like the last episode that we did where I feel like I was like insecure about it. I'm like, I don't even know what happened in that episode. I got tons of good feedback, and now Randy's like nervous about this episode.
Yeah.
And it's like she's probably gonna get tons of good feedback.
And you guys, if you like it, please send us feedback because
we don't know what we're doing.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, my ego gets a little triggered sometimes where I'm like, oh my god, it's launch day. Oh my god, fuck me.
Yeah. Randy actually has enough balls to listen to the episodes though, and I'm like, I'm just gonna lay that moment to rest. I don't know what even just happened. So
you know, there's this weird thing where I can actually separate.
Oh, good for you. I can't. I'd be critiquing everything I said.
Oh my god, when I first started though, it took time because when I first started listening, because I forced myself to.
Oh, shit, seems like I have to too.
Like I forced it, and then I started to like it.
Okay, I need to do it. I can do it.
You can do it. Put your back into it. Woo! Just kidding. We're not gonna. That's a dirty song.
No joke.
Kids, don't Google it if you're under 18. Mind you, I'm sure you've heard worse by this point, so whatever.
Yeah, really.
Really. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for listening, for being here, for supporting us, for supporting each other. Mm-hmm. That's really cool to see. You guys are starting to interact on Facebook and Instagram, and we're all about it. We're loving it.
Oh, yeah. So. Absolutely. Because, like, honestly, as I said, we're in this together, and fuck, we know we need the soul tribe right now, especially because I'm guessing everyone's feeling the divide right now, and it's just...
And that's going to get stronger the more time goes. So we need to cling to each other.
Yeah, for dear life.
Oh, my God. Throw me a lifeline here.
Totally.
Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for listening. We love you very, very much. We will talk to you very soon on the next recording podcast, whatever the fuck. I don't know. What do you say to that?
The next episode.